Yo, what's going on YouTube? Now, I really did not want to do a video on this. I didn't. I've done, what, 2 or 3 vids on this, and they were a long time ago. You know, notice I've stopped. Because, you know, I've said what I've needed to say about the topic matter. It was facts. There was really, you know, nothing to debate. You know, there's nothing more to say. See what I'm saying? But after watching Trey's video and after reading that clusterfuck of a comment section, I decided to go ahead and make this video. Now, yes, you know, I'm going to be talking a little bit about this whole, you know, power thing or whatever. Last video I'm going to say on it, I'm going to be addressing both the Nintendo haters and the Nintendo lovers in this video. But first, I just want to start out by saying, Trey, that video was unnecessary, man. You're my boy, but just stop. If they don't get it by now, they're not going to. And yes, like I said, you know, I'm going to be throwing in one last tidbit, but after this, I am not going to talk about the Wii U specs anymore. Done. Tired of this topic matter. It's really common sense, but people are just that stupid. But yeah, all Nintendo fans, not just Trey, of course, all Nintendo fans, stop going on about this power thing. If they don't get it by now, they are never going to. Even when that first Wii U game, you know, that comes out, that is obviously, you know, better looking than what the PS3 360 had, they're still not going to believe it because in their eyes, that game is not going to look better due to their extreme delusional bias. You see what I'm saying? And to the other side of people we have saying, why are Nintendo fans bragging about, you know, 2012 hardware being stronger than 2005, 2006. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. The way I see it, it's just that Nintendo fans have been tired of getting shit about how, you know, the Wii U is on par, or some people actually think it's weaker than the PS3. You know, so that's why they keep on coming out, you know, saying, oh, look, you know, this developer said it's stronger, that developer said it's stronger, oh, look at this, you know, 2 gigs of RAM, you know, stuff like that. That's what I've always, you know, perceived it as. It's not Nintendo fans bragging. You know, in my videos, it hasn't been me bragging like saying, oh, haha, you know, the Wii U is stronger. It's been, how is the Wii U on par when all these people are saying, you know, it's not. That's what it's been, you know. It's been about disproving, you know, the haters or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, to people like, you know, you, Dark Cloud, I understand that when we still have Nintendo fans coming out, you know, doing things like this, such as trade videos, I definitely see how you could take that as, you know, bragging. See what I'm saying? As saying, ha ha ha, you know, the Wii U is going to be stronger. I definitely understand that. But like I said, for the most part, it's really just about Nintendo fans, you know, tired of taking shit from the haters and simply, you know, just coming out and proving them wrong. But like I said, some keep it going to so, you know, for so long that it's perceived as bragging, so I do understand that. But just to get a little bit into this whole power thing, I'm just trying to just lay everything out, put it to rest, people. Bottom line is, there's no way the Wii U is going to be on par with the current gen. It's not going to be slightly stronger either. By slightly, I mean 20%, 50%. No. No. Parts that weak simply aren't available on the market anymore. For Nintendo to actually intentionally make the Wii U on par with the PS3 and 360, they would actually have to request that these parts be made. And that would actually cost them more money than it would to just go ahead and just use parts that are already available on the market. And that's the main thing you guys got to understand. Real quick, I'm going to talk about the specs. 2 gigabytes of RAM. Iwata confirmed that during the Japanese September 13th conference. 1 gig of RAM is dedicated to the operating system alone. Okay, the 360 and PS3 have 512 MB RAM total. So you mean to tell me a system that has twice the amount of total RAM the PS3 and 360 has for the operating system alone? You mean to tell me that that system is on par with the PS3 and 360? No. He also confirmed that the Wii U will be using a GPU, which confirms, you know, some recency about the GPU and basically, you know, confirms that it will be a stronger GPU than what's in the 360 and PS3. And developers have done nothing but praise the GPU. So we know the GPU is going to be stronger than 360 and PS3. So we have more RAM, stronger GPU. Let's get to the CPU. Power 7 derivative. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, they came out and said it's not Power 7. It's just, you know, it's a Power PC series. Power 7 is part of the Power PC series. But anyway, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, all these developers came out talking about it's clocked lower. Lower clock speed does not automatically mean a weaker processor. I already know we're going to have these guys, these tech guys come on the comment section, oh, bullshit, Shokio, you're wrong, this, and that. Tell me why the strongest CPU available on the market right now is clocked at 2.9. As compared to the second strongest CPU out on the market right now, which is clocked at 3.1. Tell me why the cell processor is better than the Xenon processor in the 360, despite them both being clocked at the same speeds. Because of architecture. Yes, clock speeds are important. Yes, they're a helpful factor. But clock speeds alone don't determine everything. They don't determine how strong a CPU is, especially when we're talking about customized, optimized parts that these companies use within their systems. These GPUs and CPUs that Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft use, they're not just straight off, you know, the shelf, you know, parts of what they're actually based off of. You see what I'm saying? They take these parts and then they customize the fuck out of them and they optimize them. That's why with a PC part, if you take that PC part and then you take a console equivalent of that part, the console can do more with that part than a PC can, because when a company takes a part and puts it into a console, they customize it and optimize it. You see what I'm saying? That's why you really can't necessarily compare it to. So especially when it comes to customized parts within consoles, you can't go off of clock speed alone. If a CPU has a superior architecture, if it has more threads per core, if it can do more threads per core, more cache, it has more cache per core, if it can do out of order processing as opposed to in order processing, but then it's clocked lower, that CPU is still more than likely is stronger than the CPU that is clocked higher. And I have a link down below full of CPUs and their benchmarks that you guys can see for yourselves, and you'll notice that a lot of CPUs are clocked lower but still stronger. You'll see CPUs that are clocked at 2.6 that are stronger than CPUs that are clocked at 3.2. Same amount of cores too. So I'm not talking about different cores. Go check it out for yourself. So now that I've gotten that out the way, and you guys have seen all the developer testimony, whatever, you guys can damage control all you want, just say they're trying to sell their product, whatever. That's reaching a desperate attempt to try to downplay it. Let's just be real here. So the Wii U is stronger than the PS3 and 360, people. No doubt about it. No, done. Discussion is over. It's over. You know? So the last thing I want to talk about is, why are people so concerned about the Wii U specs? If you're going to be a multi-console owner next generation, you shouldn't be worried about the Wii U specs, because you will have stronger platforms to play your multiplats on. You see what I'm saying? Especially if you're going to have a gaming PC. The only people, if any, that should be worried about the Wii U specs are the people who plan on only owning a Wii U next gen, and they care about multiplats. Those are the only people, if any, that should be concerned about the Wii U specs. But firstly, if you're not going to buy a Wii U, why are you talking about it in the first place? And then secondly, like I said, if you're going to own multiple systems, it shouldn't matter to you. Let's be real here. People buy Nintendo systems for Nintendo games. That's just how it's been. At least with the more recent systems. Yeah, they have a lot more third-party support and third-party exclusives back in the day. But I'm talking about as of more recently, people buy Nintendo systems for Nintendo games. Period. That's just how it is. And another thing, let me add this. We already know the PS4 and 720 are going to be weaker. Now, yes, Sony is you know, like freaking their wallets are pretty much, you know, bleeding right now. But you got to, you know, remember that the Wii U was launching a year before the PS4 and the 720. So there's really no reason why the PS4 and 720 won't be, you know, stronger, you know, even if it's just a little bit. You know, it's coming out a year later, so they have an opportunity to make stronger systems, you see what I'm saying, for an affordable price. So PS4 and 720 will most likely be stronger. If you don't think that, then you're kind of pretty much in denial. Like I said, I can understand your thought process with Sony, but still, you don't need to, you know, spend that much money to make a system that is stronger than the Wii U, because the Wii U is decently powered, but it's not using, you know, like a 7970, you know, as a GPU, you know, stuff like that. It's not using a hex core CPU, you know, things of that nature. So the Wii U still can be outdone, and for an affordable price, Sony will just have to take less of a profit or break even or a little bit of a loss, you know, compared to what Nintendo is taking, whatever, you know, that is. So bottom line is, people, the Wii U is definitely stronger than the 360 PS3. Not by a little bit, but by a decent amount. Not by a huge amount, a decent amount. It's going to be decently powerful. Bottom line is, PS4 and 720 are definitely going to be more powerful. You know, that's just how the way it's going to be. So I just don't understand why there's this whole power debate going on when we know how it's going to play out. You see what I'm saying? We know what it's going to be like. That, you know, that's what it comes down to. The Wii U is going to be powerful enough for Nintendo, and that's all that matters. Because like I said, Nintendo console equals, you know, Nintendo games. You buy a Nintendo console for Nintendo games. You know, that's what I mean by that. And we've seen what Nintendo can do on such weak hardware, you know, like the Wii. Look at Mario Galaxy. That's one of the best looking games this gen, and that was done on pretty much you know, overclocked GameCube. And if you played any Dolphin emulator Wii games where it, you know, runs the Wii games in 1080p, they look freaking gorgeous. So just imagine, look what Nintendo could do with that, and just imagine what they could do with hardware that's literally over 20 times more powerful than that. Nintendo's going to be making some beautiful ass looking games. That's why I can't wait to see Retro Studios, Monolith's, and EAD's games next year. They're going to be amazing looking. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, people. And another thing, we're only 1 month. We're 1 month away from the Wii U's launch. Shut up. Shut up. We are 1 month away from launch. Let's just wait, people. Let's just wait. Yes, I know I'm still talking about it right now, but like I said, I'm just trying to, you know, kind of put it to an end. Last video on this topic matter. I'm getting a Skype call right now. Let's just wait a month. It's going to release in a month, November 18th. Somebody's going to finally crack it open, and we're going to see how powerful it is. So let's just save the discussion for then. But that's it for this video. I'm finna see who these fools are calling me. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you fools later. Peace.